Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Devaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om
Narayanam
Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Naramam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye.
Before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, which is of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God and man, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mat Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadevi, the author. Nashtayesu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Shriti. By regular attendance in the classes of Bhagavatam and by rendering of the service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of God, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
Okay, so we are at chapter 19, Umsamana ritualistic ceremony of 6th canto, described duties of mankind. And check the text to recite 15 onwards. We can start with 15 because that's where we begin. Iti abhitushtya varadam Srinivasam Shriyasa Tannisayopaharanam Dattavachamam Achayet.
Iti Abhishtuya Varadam Srinivasam Shriyasaha Tannihasayopaharanam Dattavachamam Achayet. Iti Abhishtuya Varadam Srinivas Shriyasaha Datvachanam Achayet.
Iti abhistuya vardam
Iti Abhishtuya Varadam
Srinivasam Shriyasaha
Srinivasa Shriyasaha Tannihasrayapaharanam
Dattavachanam achayet.
Datvachanam Achayet.
Iti
Thus Abhishya offering
prayers.
Varadam who bestows benedictions Srinivasam unto Lord Vishnu the word of goddess of fortune Shriyasaha with Lakshmi Tat then
Nisharya
removing
Upakaranam
the paraphernalia of worship Dattva of offering Shamanam water of washing the hands and mouth
Archaye.
should worship.
Translations and purports by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Shri Shukadeva Goswami continued, thus one should worship Lord Vishnu, who is known as Srinivasa, along with Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, by offering prayers according to the process mentioned above. After removing all the paraphernalia of worship, one should offer them water to wash their hands and mouths, and then one should worship them again.
One more. One more.
One more time?
Yeah.
Listen.
Shri Sukadeva Goswami continued, thus one should worship Lord Vishnu, who is known as Srinivasa, along with Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, by offering prayers according to the process mentioned above. After removing all the paraphernalia of worship, one should offer them water to wash their hands and mouths, and then one should worship them again.
So everyone has been attending all the classes. They know where they are except for Abhinav and me. Do you understand it?
Actually, we just choose the important verses, so you might a little summary of the subject.
Okay. You have
I haven't been attending regularly.
your father.
Yeah.
Other than that, everyone is up to. So just a little bit recap. Yesterday also, I guess you had a little bit recap. This is the final chapter of the 6th canto. This canto is named as the prescribed duties for mankind. So after the 5th canto, Sukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj became a little bit sad as to what is going to be the situation of the people of the world, of the universe, if they have done any bad things. They are gliding down the hellish planets. We saw the hellish description, how terrific they were. So Sukadeva Goswami was wanted to give some hope to Parikshit Maharaj. So he described the prescribed duties for mankind, which is where The human beings, mankind can do devotional service and elevate themselves, even though they have done, those karmas. So that's where the chapter begins, and you have gone through. Then the Ajamila story starts right at the beginning of the sixth canto, giving the hope. Like Ajamil, who has done sinful activities throughout his life, even though he was in a good family, he had a chance, second chance. We all know the story, right? He had a second chance when he was given a life to continue, instead of taken back to hellish conditions, so that he can do his duties with, and he did a rigorous devotional service after that as a second chance. So those are the chapters that you had, and then the prayers and Diti. Vritrasura story. One of the very prominent stories of Bhagavatam is Vritrasura story, where how a demon fighting against the Devatas performed devotional service and offered that to the Lord and go back to Godhead. Vritrasura was fighting against the demigods, Indra, right? So those are stories, and then where are we? We are in the last section. Then Chitraketu Maharaj story, you up to date? Okay, anyway, you have to go back and read. Chitraketu Maharaj didn't have sons, so he was yearning for sons, although he was not destined to have sons. But then he approached his guru, Angira Muni, and Nagamuni approached him, and they said, "You're not destined." Then he says, "No, I want at any cost. Let's do this vrata." So he was given some prayers to chant, and then he get there. So payasam was given to his wives. First wife got it, and she delivered a baby. But it so happened the other wives got envious and they killed him. So that is the story. So he was not destined to have, yet he wanted it, and then he had to lose. So he becomes very detached and performs devotional service, and that was the background of Vritrasura, Chitraketu Maharaj. Okay. Now we are at the last section, last two verses. The chapter. Diti vows to kill Indra and the Pumsavana Vrata. So why did Diti vow to kill Indra? We can touch upon that. So Diti had earlier two sons, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. What happened with them? There was a havoc in the entire universe, not just in the family. So when an influential person does a mistake, what's the difference between a mistake and an influential person does and a mistake any ordinary man does?
People follow influential person.
Say that again?
He set an examples for others, so people
Of
follow
course.
him.
He is a role model, so people will follow his steps. What else?
It's like the impact is more like uprooting a tree, so the havoc is multiplied millionfold.
That's right. So the greater the influence, more the
Havoc.
the disturbance that are created if the outcome is not right. The influential person does good, it has a better impact on a lot of people because they follow. And if an influential person does a mistake, it creates a bad, more the influence. So that's the same happen. She is a very influential person. In the sense, she is the daughter of Daksha, who is Prajapati. And Diti wanted to have a son, which was not at the right time, and yet she had with her husband Kashyap Muni, and then she had two sons, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Both the times they created such an havoc in the entire universe that the Lord had to come. Lord Varahadev came for Hiranyaksha, and Lord Nrsimhadev came for Hiranyakashipu. Canto is about Hiranyakashipu, how he got his story of Maharaj and how Nrsimhadev appeared to take care of Hiranyakashipu. So that was what happened when Diti did, having been that responsible and influential position, she chose to do something which is at a very odd time, and that's the outcome. So if a person does something within one family and is not that influential, the impact is only towards, restricted to their immediate family. And little more influence, little more. But imagine a daughter as of Daksha, then the influence is throughout the universe. So the entire universe suffered for Hiranyaksha. Mother Earth was put in the waters, and Varahadev came to pick her up. And Hiranyakashipu, you know how Prahlad Maharaj He in fact did a lot of atrocities and he wanted to be the supreme lord. You will read that in 7th canto. Prahlad Maharaj, his son, he was a pure devotee because of the mercy of Narad Muni, and Narsimha came to kill Hiranyakashipu. So that is how it is. So any person who we need to be very so then the next time Devi still wanted one more son to kill, because she lost her 2 sons, she wanted to have one more son to kill Indra. Why did this happen? Why Hiranya? Because of Indra. Indra is the king of the universe for the Devatas, and his position was in jeopardy. In the sense, if there is equal his position, so every time Lord came to protect the world situation so that Indra can rule. So that she had a little of enmity towards Indra. She wanted to somehow. So that's why she again wanted to have a son. This time again she asked her husband, Kashyapa. So I want a son, please help me, son, and I want as powerful person, more powerful than Indra, so that he can take care of Indra. And Kashyapa again, oh, I'm not going to, I'm in this fix again. Yet I satisfied my wife, but then I don't want to go back to the same situation that we had earlier. So he was once bitten, twice shy. So what did he do? He actually gave her a vrata, Pumsavana. So you do this devotional service, a big process he gave, and she did that last chapter. And what happened? She did that the entire vrata for 1 whole year. Then Indra somehow entered her womb and destroyed the embryo, because Indra knew it is for him. The person who is going to take birth is going to kill him. So he knew that, and he entered her womb somehow and destroyed the embryo into 49 pieces. And then finally what happened as outcome of that is they all became devotees of Indra, and they all got Somarasa, and they are Devatas. They are considered Devatas even though they were taken birth from the womb of Devi. Now what can we learn from this? So the devotional service, what Devi performed is a devotional service, motivated devotional service. She had an intention to kill Indra. That's why, and Kashyapa Muni gave her this vrata. So you be engaged for 1 year and do this. He knew, because he knew what is going to happen if she does this vrata, even though her intentions were bad. So what's the outcome of that? Everyone in the process became beautiful. Not just Diti. Diti got transformed. In the end, she removed, her envy towards Indra got removed by the process of devotional service. And what happened to Indra? He actually repented again, saying that, oh my God, what did I do? He repented and he actually apologized. They had a very heart-to-heart conversation in the last chapter, Diti and Indra. Like, I came to destroy your womb, knowing we're going to have a son who's going to destroy me. So then they had a heart-to-heart, honest conversation, and then the 49 embryos turned into Haryakshas and Chamalakshas, and they all became devotees of the Lord. So this is the outcome of doing devotional service to the Lord, even with the good intentions. Everyone in the process got transformed. From Diti to Indra, to the result that happened are the deities rather than the demons, who are oppositions to Devatas. The result was that is the power of devotional service to Lord Vishnu. So no matter what. So the other examples from the Shastras that we can quote, intentions were bad, the outcome, what Krishna gives is the best. What is that? Putana, classic example. She came with the intention to Krishna. But what happened? Because she came with the intention, her actions were to give milk to Krishna. So Krishna took the essence of that action rather than the essence of the intention. So he gave her another good position. So in this case also, Diti wanted to have someone to take care of or kill Indra, but because the devotional service is so powerful, everyone in the process got transformed. So with the motivated devotional service, this would be the outcome. Imagine what would be the outcome with an unmotivated devotional service. What is unmotivated devotional service?
No agenda.
Mechanical with some selfish motives.
Unmotivated. Yeah.
Selfless.
Selfless. So anyabhilashita shunyam jnanakarmadhanamritam anukulena krishnaanushīlanam bhaktiruttama. This is the definition Srila Rupa Goswami gives in Nectar of Devotion for unmotivated devotional service. Anukulena krishna anushīlanam. Anya abhilashita shunyam. What is anya abhilashita shunyam? Anya is any other. Abhilashita desires. Shunyam zero. Anya abhilashita shunyam. Jnana karma anavritam. Devoid of jnana and karma. Anukulena krishna anushīlanam. Anukulena means conducive, favorable to devotional service. Krishna, following the footsteps enunciated by Krishna, which is favorable. And anushīlana, following the footsteps. That is Uttama Bhakti. That is the characteristic of Uttama Bhakti. So imagine if we were to do Uttama Bhakti, unmotivated. What is the outcome? That is for all you to think. So Rupa Goswami gave the definition, and we are following in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. We are called as Rupanugas. So we should cultivate unmotivated devotional service. Even though motivated service gives us the result as seen in the example of Diti, but our only goal is to cultivate unmotivated devotional service. So that is what we saw. Now, coming back to the chapter itself, so we concluded at 14, which talked about the glorification of Lord Vishnu and Mother Lakshmi. Now the process is given. So at the end of the chapter, one before this, 18th chapter, after describing the process, then Sukadeva Goswami asked this question: what else you want to hear, Parikshit Maharaj? Parikshit Maharaj said, oh, this looks like a very fantastic process of the vrata that you just described, because the outcome was so great. So describe the process. So he started to describe the process of this vrata itself, which is what we saw in the last few verses. The steps and the procedures as to how to. Now we are we just read 6:15. We'll quickly go through the translations and probably we can conclude also. Because next speaker will not have, it's just the process and the Falashruti. We can talk about the Falashruti also. So let's 16 hours and take turns, I guess.
Here, with devotion and humility, one should offer prayers to the Lord and Mother Lakshmi. Then one should smell the remnants of the food offered and then again worship the Lord and Lakshmi Ji.
Accepting her husband as the representative of the supreme person, a wife should worship him with unlimited devotion by offering his honor. The husband, being very pleased with his wife, should engage himself in the affairs of his family.
Between the husband and wife, one person is sufficient to create this devotional service. Because of their good relationship, both of them enjoy results. Therefore, if the wife is unable to execute this process, the husband should carefully do so, and the faithful wife will share them.
Let's pause there. So this verse, or one before also, accepting her husband as a representative of the Supreme Personality of God, I should worship him with unalloyed devotion by offering him prasad. So this is the process that is described. And this particular verse 18, between all the while, if we have read Srila Prabhupada's purports, Prabhupada says that husband should follow the devotional service and so husband should be engaged in the devotional service and wife should follow. But right in this verse, with husband and wife, one person is sufficient to execute. It looks like anybody can do devotional service and get the same result, but Prabhupada advice. And he makes it clear that husband should be the leader and wife should follow. So, what is a Krishna conscious ideal life, family? A Krishna conscious ideal family, the husband is a devotee of the Lord and performs the devotional service, and wife is faithful to husband and very religious and follow the Vedic injunctions. And keeping Krishna the center, leading their life is the ideal Krishna conscious family. So the process that is explained of how to do this vrata is that both of them do together, and in case wife is not able to do because of various reasons, and Prabhupada makes it clear it is the wife who is not able to do, but husband should always do. Because husband is the head of family, they should set the example and wife should lead. Certain cases wife may not be able to do because of situations various. If she has a child, she will not be able to do. She's taking care. Right? So in that case, if wife is faithful and devoted, she will get the results. Both of them share half the results. So Prithu Maharaj, who's described in Canto 4, he is called an ideal Grihastha and ideal Brahmachari. How can a person be called an ideal Grihastha, Brahmachari and Grihastha at the same time? That looks very odd, right? Because once you are Brahmachari, you are not married. When you are Brahmachari, you are not married. But when you are Grihastha, you are married and you are no more called as Brahmachari. Whereas Prithu Maharaj is called as ideal Grihastha as well as Brahmachari. Why? Because he was an ideal Brahmachari in this life, and when he married, he got children who were perfect Krishna conscious. So when someone begets children who are devotees of the Lord, that is considered Brahmacharya itself. Prabhupada describes in the purports, fourth canto. So that is how he is an ideal Brahmachari at the same time Grihastha also, because he begot 5 sons who are Krishna conscious. So this is the ideal family, having children who are Krishna conscious, and Krishna says he is not against the married life in Bhagavad Gita, right? So that this is not against the rules or Vedic scriptures. Still, if one has to keep Krishna in the center of their lives and perform devotion service, and the outcome is, if the children are devotees, then it's ideal. So that is when you keep Krishna in the center, both of them share the result. Even though she is not able to do at certain time, she is able to share the result. So that's what this particular 18th verse, 19 and 20, you can read this.
One should accept this Vishnu Vrata, which is a vow and devotion service, and should not deviate from its execution to engage in anything. By offering the remnants of prasada, flower garlands, sandalwood, and ornaments, one should daily worship the Brahmanas and worship women who peacefully live with their husbands and children. Every day, the wife continue following the regulative principles to worship Lord Vishnu with great devotion. Thereafter, Lord Vishnu should be laid in his bed, and then one should be prasada. In this way, husband and wife will be purified and will have all their desires fulfilled.
Chaste wife must perform such devotional service tirelessly for 1 year. After 1 year passes, she should fast on the full moon day in the month of October.
On the morning of the next day, one should wash oneself, and after worshipping Lord Krishna as before, one should cook as one cooks for festivals, as stated in Griha Sutras. Sweet rice should be cooked with ghee, and with this preparation, the husband should offer oblations to the fire 12 times.
Therefore, he should satisfy the Brahmanas. When the satisfied Brahmanas bestow their blessings, he devotedly offer them respectful obeisances with his hand and with their permission to take prasad.
We'll pause. So this is again the procedure on how to do Vrat Vrata 19 to 24. Please read one more also. Yeah.
Before taking his knee, husband must first seat the acharya comfortably, and along with his relatives and friends should control his speech and offer prasada to the guru. Then the wife should eat the remnants of the oblation of sweet rice cooked with ghee. The remnants ensures a learned, devoted son and all good fortune.
So the process continues, right? So one should do for 1 whole year, Didi perform devotion, this vrata, And at the end of the Kartik Paurnami, the next day she cook for festivals. How do we cook for festivals? Grand. What are the main ingredients? Sweet rice. Krishna,
Kheer.
Kheer is important because that's the most Krishna loves kheer. That's why we offer to our teacher Gopinath, right? So Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning about how to cook for festivals in which sweet rice. So all of you, when you are cooking for festivals, always have kheer by cooking for festivals. So yeah, so the process after that, you do that and offer to the Lord, and the husband should call all the brahmanas to their home, offer that to brahmanas first. Also, in the next canto, you will remember towards the end, 7th chapter, what should be the ideal household duties. That is one of the house. Already it is come here, but it will come there more. An ideal householder is after making a meal at home, the man should go out of the door and call all the people. Anybody hungry? Please come and have food. That is how he has to make a call outside, and then he will only take whatever is remaining after feeding them. That's ideal householder. So this is also said after the 1 year of vrata, the husband should do that, feed the brahmanas, feed the cows, and then he should partake, and whatever is remaining, that will accept. So by doing this, what is the falashruti you get in the next few verses? We'll read 25 to 28.
If this war or ritualistic ceremony is all according to the description of Shastras, even in this life a man will be able to achieve all the benedictions he desires from the Lord. A wife who does this ritualistic ceremony will surely receive good fortune, opulence, son, and long-living husband, a good reputation, and a good home.
Please read purport also.
Just a second. Sorry. Purport. In Bengal, even today, if a woman lives for a long time with her husband, she is considered very fortunate. A woman generally desires a good husband, good children, a good home, prosperity, opulence, and so on. As recommended in this verse, a woman will receive all these desirable benedictions, and a man will also be able to receive all benedictions from Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, by performing this particular type of vrata, a man and a woman in Krishna consciousness will be happy in this material world, and because being Krishna conscious, they will be promoted to the spiritual world.
Next.
Whose turn is it?
It's mine. If an unmarried girl observes this vrata, she will be able to get a very good husband. If a woman who is Avira, who has no husband or son, executes this ritualistic ceremony, she can be promoted to the spiritual world. A woman whose children have died after birth can get a child long duration of life and also become very fortunate in possessing wealth. If a woman is unfortunate, she will become fortunate, and if ugly, she will become beautiful. By observing this vrata, a diseased man can gain relief from his disease and have an able body with which to work. If one recites this narration while offering oblations to the Pita and demigods, especially during the Shraddha ceremony, the demigods inhabitants of Pitaloka will be extremely pleased with him and bestow upon him with the fulfillment of all desires. After one performs this ritualistic ceremony, Lord Vishnu and his wife, Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, are very pleased with him. O King Parikshit, now I have completely described how Diti performed this ceremony and had good children, Marthas, and a happy life. I have tried to explain this to you elaborately as possible.
Thus ends Bhaktivedanta purports the 6th canto, 19th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Performing the Bhavana Ritualistic Ceremony. So this is the Falashruti, 25 to 28. What are the results if one performs this? So this is applicable not just to the husband and wife, even to any person. Like even a man can do this devotion, this vrata, a lady can do, an unmarried girl can do, and she'll get a husband, good husband. A woman without children and husband, because she doesn't have any protectors in her life, if she does this vrata, she'll be taken care to go back to God. And then a woman without children also can perform this to get it. Because this is the vata that was prescribed for a woman who wanted a child. Diti wanted a child. So this is very much for a woman who she can also do. And a diseased man can become free of disease. And the results of this can also be offered to the Pitrus who are during the Shraddha ceremony. Yeah, so this is the Falashruti. Any questions? Next 5 minutes we can open for questions.
Women more benefits than men.
Say that again.
He's saying women get more benefits.
But see, the whole thing was for husband and wife, right? The man and women. So the man can lead by doing this vrata. He is already there. Yeah. I think so.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. When you talk about how to look at the accepted the essence of the devotional service and bhakti versus the essence of the intention, whether it is putna, whether it is diti. Like even Diti did not know, right, that if this huge fast, like all these people will get purified. At the time, she didn't know. She was doing her agenda, her own reasons. So is that why in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjun that don't bother trying to understand karma because it's very difficult? Like because you won't be able to understand intention, where just do your duty and just at the task at hand, because I will decide. Like that's why in where he says it's difficult to understand karma, like it is very difficult. He says that in the Gita, right? Is that why? Because Putna, her intentions were not perfect, but she got liberated. Diti, her intent, she didn't know she was going to go and have this monumental like snowball effect where all it's one. Is that why you think Krishna is just saying don't try to understand karma?
No, I don't think so. We can relate it like that. Why Krishna says don't bother about the karma is because it's mind-boggling to think like how much can I, by doing this, what will I get? And you don't know the whole picture also. So that becomes very mental, speculative. And if the result is not good, then you are going to feel bad at the end, depressed. The result is good, you are happy.
Correct.
And that's why Krishna says, become detached from the result for that reason. Not because you're trying to relate these two together, but in my mind, why Krishna gives that reason not to be pushed into karma, kanda, or bother about the result. Karma ne vadikaraste is only because your jurisdiction is only restricted to the work.
Okay.
You are entitled only to the work that you are supposed to. Because the result is dependent on so many other factors, not just your own action. There is Krishna's action at the end, but there are other factors, other instruments also acting there. So we don't know what's going to happen. So if we are only bothered about how much you are supposed to do as your work, then that is what Krishna is telling you. Don't bother. It's too much of mental game. Leave that to me. I'll take care. You just do what you are supposed to.
Okay. Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, Devi had 49 sons in her home. That means she had 49 souls with 49 other Paramatmas. Her soul and then her Paramatma. So she had 100 parts of Krishna inside her at that time. She must be like so divine.
49, right? We're 100.
So 49 souls and then 49 Atmas with the soul.
Yeah.
And then her soul and then her Paramatma.
Yeah, only
50 plus 50. I mean, her
She's
soul
talking
as
about
well
a
as
living
Parama.
entity, like as a part and parcel of the soul, and then
each one had Paramatma. So that is 49 Paramatmas inside.
And their own soul as well. Because there's one Paramatma and then our soul inside us. That's how it's.
Yeah, so it's together, right? We have soul, our soul, and our Paramatma inside our soul. It's one
Oh,
together.
it's just one.
Like there are two, but It's one. For 49 it is one. Each one has a soul and Paramatma inside them. Why? How is it 100? I'm not getting.
Each one has two, Paramatma and
Okay, if you count it like that. Yeah.
It's 100 parts of Krishna.
Right. The half of it is soul.
But soul is also part of Krishna.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
So what's the question?
So that makes it 100.
So, like, when you're writing it, that means she must be like more divine.
Yes. Yeah.
Because she has another soul.
Right. Of course. Yeah. She is. Initially, she had one soul in it, in her womb. When Indra made 49, 7 pieces, and then each one again 7, 7, 7, so 40. So Paramatma entered into each and every one. So he didn't let the embryo die. He entered and made it alive.
My question to you is, first of all, thank you so much for the wonderful class. So my question is that Vrata particularly prescribed? Because in Nectar of Instruction, I think in second verse, God mentioned this, like, we should not be too much like attracted to material, because she was saying all it for material desire, and a lot of things mentioned here are materialistically desired for materialistic people. And Prabhupada mentioned in the purport of the second verse that Lalya and Atyahara is one of the major thing which stops us from growing spiritually.
This does not come under the Laulya and Atyahara category. Laulya is greed, excessive greed for any material possessions. Like greedy to have big buildings, so many, even if you have few and then you want to add more so that and to get that. The idea there stressed is don't endeavor to notice like too much, putting lot of your energy, time, resources after that. That is Laulya. And the other is Atyahara, then persevering for getting things. That is Atyahara, too much of endeavor in the wrong things. Now what this one is, this is not outside of Krishna consciousness, this particular vrata, because it is to glorify the Lord, Vishnu and Lakshmi. And you might think that because the Falashrutis are like to get a good husband and good children, it might, are you looking that as materialistic? Say yes, that is the case. If not, because if you look at the big picture, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita is not against the sex life. That means to give a big, and I gave example of Prithu Maharaj. He is an ideal Grihastha and ideal Brahmachari. Why is he after becoming Grihastha he is an ideal Brahmachari? Because he got 5 Krishna conscious children, and that's how he is still considered as a Brahmachari. So this is, and there are souls waiting birth for them an opportunity to become devotees also, because there some unfulfillment happened and they couldn't finish. So they need a proper qualified people who can give birth. They won't be born to a random person. They need a situation, they need an environment based on their karma and their desires for them to thrive in their devotions in their future life. So is that outside of your Krishna life? No, it is not. It is part of, and the great example that we have in Shastra is Kardama and Devahuti. What did Kardama do? 10,000 years after having received the instruction from his father Brahma, and then Lord Vishnu himself. Finally, he did devotional service. So once he got the instruction from Brahma, he went to do devotional service 10 years, 10,000 years, so that he gets a good wife. That is his motivation to do. And why? Because he got instruction from Brahma, and because of the desire of Lord Vishnu. And then Lord Vishnu comes to tell him, this is a girl coming to see you. Imagine. So then after that, what is his intent? What is his motivation? Right? He takes up married life. He says, I am going to live as soon as you get a child. So that is how he is detached. So we can follow the footsteps of Kardama. We can have an exit plan also while we enter into the plan, into the life. We can also come up with exit plan, how Kardama did. Like, although I want a good wife so that I get good Krishna conscious children, as per your desire, and also want to exit at certain time. This is all within the scriptures and it is all within our Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is not outside.
Mataji, like oh sorry, did someone else?
Prabhuji said.
If the Vrat Vidhi for this, for unmarried women, it's already mentioned in the previous
18th chapter.
18th
Yes.
chapter?
Yeah,
The one before.
that is where she did. I think the process is here also.
Okay.
This is a process. Pumsavana, like how it's devotional service, like how do you perform your day worship at home,
Okay.
how you should be regulated, giving them all the offerings, offering, like you do aarti, offer
Correct.
the food
Yes,
stuffs, regulated with intention, like intentive, like not be paced down, we are doing things with intention.
Jai.
Also, it's really hard to follow this one because like there are a lot of instructions. You should not be facing towards the north. Wash your hands again after doing. If you're going outside, just take a shower or something like that. Is it even applicable for like today's world?
Like eating, you wash. Like wash your hands and mouth at least. So it's not something outside of what we do.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's a regular activities only. Little more intently if you do, then it becomes easy. Anybody else? Done? So you a 6th chapter can go today. Tomorrow 7th chapter.
Jai.
Jai.